So a few videos back, I made my predictions for Week 6 of college football. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you go check it out. And today I'm going to be reacting to my predictions. So the first game was Minnesota versus Ohio State. I thought the score would be 35-56. Ohio State winning. The actual score was 42-3. I kind of figured it'd be a blowout, but I thought Ohio State and Minnesota would um, score more, and I still thought it would be a blowout. And I just think Ohio State just played better ball, and I just think that they were the better team. They had just a few more better players than Minnesota, and I just think Ohio State was disciplined, and I think they snuck out with or blew out with a win. The next game I predicted was Texas versus Florida. I thought the score would be 35-30, Texas winning. The actual score was 21-29, Florida winning. So I wasn't expecting Florida to win um, because I just thought Texas just was the better team here, but ended up being Florida was the better team here. And I just think Texas wasn't having a great game. I just think that they just didn't play as good as they usually do. I just think Florida had a great game. They didn't get many penalties, I don't think, and I think Florida State snuck out with the win here. The next game was Mississippi State versus Texas A&M. I thought this, or I predicted the score to be 45-28. Texas A&M kind of blowing out Mississippi State, but the actual score was 31-9. I didn't figure there was going to be that big of a blowout, but I figured Texas A&M was going to win because I just think that they were the harder team. I thought they were more aggressive, they were more disciplined, and I just thought that Mississippi State made more mistakes. I just think that Texas A&M just performed like they usually do and won that game. The next game I predicted was Kentucky versus Georgia. So I thought the score would be in one touchdown, 14-21, Georgia winning. But the actual score was 35-14, Georgia winning. I wasn't expecting it to be like as blowout as it was, but I figured Georgia was going to win because they're a bigger school, so more people go there to play football than to go to Kentucky. And I just think that Georgia just played better. They executed on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. And I just think that Kentucky couldn't keep up with Georgia. I think they made a few more errors than them, and I just think that's why Georgia won this game. The next game was Oklahoma versus Kent State. So I thought the score was going to be 42-0. The actual score was 44-0. Oklahoma winning. So I was only off by 2 points. I knew Oklahoma was going to win because they're just the bigger schools, and more people go there than Kent State to play any kind of sport, I think. But they both have pretty good players. But I just think that Kent State couldn't keep up with the Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma was more aggressive, and I just think that they were just too fast for Kent State, too strong for Kent State, and I think that's why Oklahoma blew out Kent State. The next game was Wisconsin versus Michigan. I thought the score was going to be 38-14, Michigan won. So I thought it was going to be a little bit of a blowout. But the actual score was 24-10, Michigan won. I thought it was closer than I thought, and I thought Wisconsin put up a good fight. I thought they really wanted to win this game to prove something that they were really good. But Michigan stopped them from doing that. I just thought they were going to win because they executed I think both sides of the ball better than Wisconsin, and I just think that Michigan was the better team. The next game was Virginia versus Louisville. I thought the score was going to be by one touchdown, 28-21, Virginia winning, but it ended up being a field goal game, 30-27, Virginia winning. I kind of felt Virginia would win because I don't think Louisville is as good as Virginia in football, and I just think that Louisville made more mistakes than Virginia. I think both teams fought really hard to win, being a field point game, and I just think that it ended up being the errors, and I think Louisville made more errors than Virginia, and I think Virginia snuck out with this win. This next game was Vanderbilt versus Alabama. I thought the score was going to be 28-24. So I thought it was going to be a close game, but the actual score was 30-14, and I wasn't expecting it to be that much of a blowout by Alabama. I knew Alabama was going to win because Vanderbilt isn't really a football team, but they had a better team than they usually have, and I just think that Alabama just is more experienced at football, or they had more experienced players at Alabama than Vanderbilt, and I just think that Alabama just played better football than Vanderbilt. The next game was Illinois versus Purdue. I thought this was going to be a really close game, a field goal game, and I thought the score was going to be 17-14, Illinois win, but the actual score was 43-27. I wasn't expecting it to be such a high scoring game. I thought it was going to be way closer than it was. I just think that Purdue's more of a basketball college than football, and plus Illinois, I just think that they play harder. I think they were more aggressive, and I think they were just the better team in this game. The next game was Boise State versus Notre Dame, and I had the score being 7-35, Notre Dame winning, and the actual score was 7-28, Notre Dame winning. I had a feeling Notre Dame was going to win because making it to the national championship game last year, I just think that they're just the better team. They executed both sides of the ball really well, and I just think that they're really good, and I just think that they're the better team here. The next game was Ohio State versus Cincinnati. I thought the score was going to be really close by 3 points, 21-24, Cincinnati winning. But the actual score was 38-30, Cincinnati winning. I had a feeling Cincinnati was going to win because I think they're just the better team. They came in wanting to win, but I think Iowa State put up a really good fight, only holding them to 38 points. And I just think that both teams wanted to meet each other. But in the end, I think it came down to who played harder in the errors. And I think Iowa State made more errors. And I just think that Cincinnati played harder. The next game is Penn State versus UCLA. I think this game shocked me the most because I was expecting Penn State to win 30 or 49-24, but UCLA won 42-37. I think this was the upset of the week because of how good Penn State is with all of their good players and their good head coach James Franklin. I thought they were going to win, but I think UCLA played just the better game. They played a well-rounded game. They were more aggressive. They were more disciplined. I just think Penn State made more errors, and I think that's why they lost. But I just thought Penn State was going to win. The next game was West Virginia versus BYU. I thought West Virginia was going to win 35-21 because I thought they were better than BYU, but the actual score was 24-38 BYU winning. I wasn't expecting BYU to win because I just thought West Virginia had a better football team, but BYU proved me wrong, beating West Virginia by 14 points. I just think that BYU play harder. They wanted to win and prove something, and I think that's what they did. The next game was, I think, the most anticipated game, Florida-wise. Miami, Florida versus Florida State. I thought the score was going to be 28-21. Miami, Florida winning. And the actual score was 28-22. Miami, Florida. So I was only 1 point off for each team. And I figured Miami, Florida was going to win because of how they played last year. And plus, Florida State not doing as good recently. I just think that Miami, Florida just had executed better. They play harder than Florida State, but I think Florida State put up a good fight, wanting to win. But in the end, Miami won. The last game was Texas Tech versus Houston. I thought the score was going to be really close in a low-scoring game, being 14-7, Texas Tech winning. But the actual score was 35-11, I think. And I just think that Texas Tech is better than Houston, having more of a football team because of Patrick Mahomes going there and just having a good football team. And I just think that Houston didn't play as good. But I think Texas Tech or Houston put up a good fight. But in the end, Texas Tech won. So if you like this video, make sure to like and comment what videos you'd like to see me do. And make sure you subscribe to never miss a video. I hope you guys have a good day.